Hi guys, happy YouTube day. It's YouTube day if you're watching this channel, whether you like it or not. Hold on, let me turn my thingy down so it doesn't interrupt us. Today, we're going to talk about how self-interest undermines unity. Why does self-interest happen? Lack of faith, right? Your faith grows if you trust in the universe's ability to take care of you as long as you keep providing for it, right? The material plane works. This is a message. So this is based on a reading I already did this morning. This is a pre-poll constant message. I get this message all the time, right? So all of us have to understand that we've got to provide something for our environment or we're not going to get anything in return, right? You can't just sit in one spot and have faith. Now, maybe, if you really master yourself to a degree, yeah, you could sit in one spot and just manifest poof out of thin air. I'm not going to say I'm not there yet. I'm going to say anybody could probably do that eventually, right? Because this is just, all of this is kind of an illusion, right? We've talked about this before. Everything equals zero, plus and minus field, comes from the 0 point, poof, comes out. And the only way to make it come from the 0 point is to have a positive and negative portion of that thing that balances itself out to zero, right? So knowing that means that you're going to, if you want to live a life where you're receiving anything, you got to provide something, right? That being said, it's really easy to fall in balance in your relationships. Now, how do you fall out of balance? I have a LinkedIn profile. Like any of you that have a LinkedIn profile or a business owner, Instagram, whatever, especially LinkedIn though. LinkedIn is the tool where you will get so many people that contact you weekly. I average probably 7 a week, I would say on average, maybe 4 to 7, somewhere in there. That, hey, I can help you get clients, right? We do client outreach. Some company, right? Whether it's Copilot AI or, whatever. It could be individual entrepreneurs. Most of them are from Bangladesh, India, because India's got 1 billion people, right? So there's literally half of India is serving the United States in some fashion, and a lot of them do client outreach. So they'll reach out to you and say, hey, look, I can help you get clients. This is what I charge. And even if they charge half of what somebody else here in the States would, they're living like kings there because it's not 1-to-1 ratio, right? I mean, I don't know what the Indian, what the currency is, but it's not as worth, comparatively speaking, it's not worth as much as the dollar. Anyway, somebody comes to you and say, hey, and then I always say, well, how much do you want? And they always say this, this, and this. And I say, well, and this is always how I answer. Say, look, we're in a declining market. So right now I'm more interested in profit sharing because I want to teach people how to work together and to share and believe in what they're doing for one another, right? Because if nothing comes out of this, the last thing I want to do is give you money, put money in your pocket, and I get nothing, right? So it's prioritizing your needs. Self-interest is undermining unity, right? So, I mean, what are we doing, right? It's like, well, and usually they always think about it. It's like, well, I appreciate, but I just can't work under that. It's like, okay, no problem. Fine. That's how you cut the weeds from the chaff. That's exactly how you cut the weeds from the chaff. Because you understand who lives by faith and who doesn't. Now, if you offer help and then refuse help based on money, you're going to put yourself in a karmic cycle. Be very careful what you ask for, right? Now, if you offer help at the forefront with cost, it's a little different, right? But if you're reaching out to offer help, for one thing, always offer something for free. This is something that a business coach that I really respect in the past, she knew this principle, right? You don't ever Don't ever come offering something with just a monetary attachment. Always offer to help, like offer free, provide a lot of free material. And then if they like what they see, then a lot of times people will come back and they'll pay for more of your time, which is a great way to operate, right? Always do it from a place of service. You know, I'm here to help, right? And I want to show you that I'm here to help. And if I'm not here to help, then it's going to be really obvious, right? It's going to be really obvious that all I want is your money, right? So self-interest will always undermine unity, and trust in the divine is actually what keeps you from being able to help somebody willingly. Now, I told this story. My ex-wife, her grandfather, born in the teens somewhere. I think he's a 1917 model, if I remember. 1917 or 1919, one of the two. Anyway, I think I don't know. I had a great uncle who was born in 1917. He was right around there. No, he was 1921, I think. I think that's right. Well, yeah, I think so. 1921. Anyway, grew up in the 30s, so he well, maybe it was 1990. I don't know. For some reason, I keep thinking that he was born before 1921. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He's old and he's dead now, because he'd be 104 if he was born in 1921, but he'd be 108 if he was born in 1917. He used to ride his bike from northern Washington all the way to Central Oregon, and because he had relatives in Oregon, so it'd take him 3 or 4 days to ride his bicycle from northern. It's a pretty lengthy trip. It's not 1,000 miles, but it's 600 miles probably, maybe a little more. And he would have to stop, for 3 or 4 days. So he'd have to stop 2 or 3 nights and you just knock on someone's house, just see if there's a light on. Hey, is it all right if I stay with you? Back in the 30s, that was the Depression time. You had communities that were trying to self-support one another, right? They were working together to build something together. A lot different time to be alive, right? As we've moving from, since the 1930s, how much has trust fallen in our society, right? I mean, quite a bit. I mean, how many of you would be open to letting a kid on their bicycle? Now, if your intuition is solid and you're just in a state where you understand that sometimes people need help, and you can see where they're at, sometimes, as long as you're trusting yourself and trust that even if something is taken, that it'll be replaced eventually, and it's just a thing, right? It's just stuff. It doesn't matter. But the last thing you want to do is let somebody in your house is going to try and kill you, right? But I mean, realistically, you should get a pretty good feeling if somebody comes to your door and they needs a place to stay, and if they got a pretty good story, hey, I'm cycling through, I just need a place to lay down and sleep for a few hours so I can get back on the road. Put them to work, have them do the dishes, feed them breakfast. Why not, right? It was much easier to do that back in the 30s than it is now. I mean, who's doing that? Would any of you try to do that now? You'd have to have faith that there would be an open door for you. And as long as you did have faith, then I know that you would be guided to the right places at the right time. It's just all about faith, and your love for other people, and how much you believe that you'll be supported. The way that you view the world will be the way that the world views you, right? The world is a mirror. If you view it as combative and out to get you, then that's the way it will treat you. It's a pretty hard one to accept, right? To believe that that's really true. Yeah. But if you believe that it's there to support you for whatever it is that you have to offer, then your faith will make you whole. And if you don't believe, then your faith is going to bring whatever, your belief system will bring whatever you believe, right? And so what we see in our society is just competing belief systems, right? If you want to believe in this thing over me and you, then the thing will end up killing you. There's no doubt about it, right? Believing in the thing that's instead of the love that we have for one another, that will last in eternity. But believing in the thing isn't there for very long. It never is. Even the body's not here for very long. This is an age-old lesson that gets repeated over and over and over at the beginning and ending of every cycle. And so that's what we're going through in this cycle. Same lesson, different time, different place. You have to understand the past before you understand the future. And so the forecast for this year is just an escalation of that, right? I mean, you're going to see more and more constriction in the economy, leading to people putting all kinds of energy into weird places, more conflicts arising, because people are setting too many boundaries in their lives, thinking to protect themselves, when the reality is all they have to do is open their heart and love one another and spend more time together and trust one another. Because when you're trusting each other, you're actually trusting in the divine, right? So at the same time, the story that I told about, reaching out and offering somebody for a service, do what you have to do for yourself. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. And if somebody offers to help you, offer to treat them equally. Say, hey, look, I would love for us to work together, but this is the way I work together. I work together to treat both of us equally so we can make decisions together and move forward and share in whatever it is that we're doing together. And if they don't want that, then turn and walk away, because their faith is not driving them. Their fear is driving them. Fear of lack, of not having enough, unless they take from you in order to provide for themselves. And their self-interest will always undermine the ability to work together. So as we move forward over the next few years, you're going to see more and more co-creative groups pop up that are living by faith, and instead of living off of somebody else, right? The system, being self-sufficient and believing in each other to provide and to keep working to provide something for the community, Yeah. So that goes into my project, which is kind of that. I will eventually post it on this channel. I'm still working on it in the background. And if you are an entrepreneur and you want to work together, right? That's who I am, right? That's what I do. I don't value myself more than anybody else. And that's why it's so difficult for me as a person to sell anything as an individual, because I know deep down that there isn't anybody that can offer anything more than I can, or less. All of us have psychic abilities. All of us have intuition. We all have, the ability to heal one another. And the only reason that we don't is because we don't believe that we do, right? Our level of faith. It all comes down to faith. So, love you guys. Let's get an oracle card before I go. Just see what the oracles have to say. Is it going to say sacred journey again? Oh, God. It is a sacred journey, right? You have to believe that you can teach people to have faith in one another. Because if you don't have faith in somebody else, it's kind of an indication that you really don't have faith in yourself, right? Because you're always going to project an energy that you have for yourself. If I don't have faith in myself, then I will never have faith in you. And you guys can do anything. Set your mind to. What do we got? Celestial teacher. You guys are celestial teachers. Teaching from a higher plane of existence, right? to manifest the life of your dreams, just keep providing for your environment and loving one another and treating each other the same way that you would treat, that you want to be treated, right? Everyone wants to be loved. And I want to love everybody I come in contact with as much as possible. But when they don't return it and continually don't return it, then all you can do is walk away, right? It doesn't mean that you don't love them. It just means that they're not there for you right there at that time. Maybe they will be later. Who knows, right? I am not one to judge because I've been through done so many stupid things in my life. It doesn't matter. You realize it just doesn't matter. So, love you guys. Have a beautiful day. And we'll catch you on the next one.